Welcome back to my YouTube channel Digital Learner. In today's video lesson, we shall discuss about sovereignty, its meaning, definition and characteristics. This lesson is covered in semester 4, paper 10 for UG Political Science Honours students. Now we shall discuss about sovereignty. The state is a central point or central theme of international politics. The relationship among the independent and sovereign state is the international relation. During the age of globalization, there has been the rise of a number of non-state actors in the international scenario after Second World War, which affect the existence of sovereign state. The states has four elements. They have the elements like sovereignty and territory, but non-state actors lack these elements. Sovereignty is the important element of the state without which the state will not exist. Only the state possesses the sovereignty. Now we shall discuss about meaning of sovereignty or what is sovereignty means. The term sovereignty has been derived from Latin word supernus, which means supreme or paramount. Although the term sovereignty is modern, yet the idea of sovereignty goes back to the Aristotle, who spoke of the supreme power of the state. The term sovereign or sovereignty were first used by French jurists in the 15th century, and later they found their way into English, Italian, German and political literature. The use of the term sovereignty in political science dates back to the publication of Jean Bodin's The Republic in 1576. The sovereignty has two aspects. Now we shall discuss about two aspects of sovereignty. They are internal sovereignty and external sovereignty. First of all, we shall discuss about internal sovereignty. Internal sovereignty means the sovereign power of the state by which the state exercises ultimate power over all persons, groups and institutions within its territory. The law is the ultimate order of the sovereign within the geographical boundaries of the state. According to this law, the affairs of the state are governed. Next is the external sovereignty. External sovereignty is the sovereignty by which the state is free from external control. The external sovereignty of the state means that the state is free from outside control of the external power. One state is external sovereignty. One state is completely free from the will of control of another state. External sovereignty means that the sovereign state have the freedom to establish diplomatic relations with the other sovereign state and to determine foreign policy of the state independently. Now we shall discuss about some of the definition of sovereignty. The sovereignty has been defined by different political scientists. Now we shall discuss one after another. According to Jelinek, sovereignty means that the character of the state by virtue of which it cannot be legally bound except by its own or limited by any power other than itself. According to Hugo Grotius, sovereignty is the supreme political power entrusted to a person who is not under anybody else and whose will is impossible to violate. According to Jean Bodin or Jean Baudin, sovereignty is the supreme power of the state over citizens and subject unrestrained by the law. According to Bocrace characterizes sovereignty is the original, absolute, unlimited power over the individual subjects and over all associations of the subjects. According to Pollock, sovereignty is that power which is neither temporary nor delegated nor subject to any control which cannot be altered, not answerable to any other person power over the earth. Next, according to Willoughby, sovereignty is the supreme will of the state. According to Blackstone, sovereignty is the daily operative power of the framing and giving efficacy to the law. That is the definition of Woodrow Wilson. According to Blackstone, sovereignty is the supreme, irresistible, absolute, uncontrolled authority in which the jurist summi imperi resides. According to Harold Lusky, sovereignty is the ultimate power of the state to exercise power over individuals and groups within the state. Now we shall discuss about characteristics of or attributes of sovereignty. According to Professor Garner, following are the characteristics of or attributes of sovereignty. First, permanence. Second, exclusiveness. Third, all-comprehensive. Fourth, inalienability. Fifth, unity. Sixth, imprescriptibility. Seventh, indivisibility. Absolute or illimitability. Or ninth, originality. Now we shall discuss in detail one after another. First is the permanence. Permanence is the chief characteristic of sovereignty. Sovereignty lasts as long as an independent state lasts. The death of the king, the overthrow of the government does not lead to the destruction of sovereignty. We should keep in mind the basic fact that the king and the ruler exercise sovereign power on behalf of the state, and therefore sovereignty lasts as long as state lasts. The death of the king or the overthrow of the government does not affect sovereignty. This is the reason why people in England used to say, "The king is dead, long live the king." Professor Gardner has beautifully summed up this idea in his following manner. Sovereignty does not cease with the death or temporary disposition of a particular bearer, office bearer, or reorganization of government or state, but shift immediately to a new bearer or the ruler as the center of gravity shift from one part of the physical body to another when it undergoes external changes. Second one, the exclusiveness. By exclusiveness, we mean that there can't be two sovereign in one independent state. If the two sovereign exist in the state, the unity of that state will be destroyed. There cannot exist another sovereign state within the existing sovereign state. Hence, sovereignty is exclusiveness. Next is the all-comprehensiveness. The state is all-comprehensive and the sovereign power is universally applicable. Every individual and association of individuals is subject to the sovereignty of the state. No association or group of individuals, however rich or powerful it may be, or can resist or disobey the sovereign authority. Sovereignty makes no exception or grant no exception to anyone. It grants exception only in case of foreign embassies or diplomatic representatives of foreign countries on the reciprocal basis. The state can abolish and withdraw the diplomatic privileges granted to foreigners. Next is the inalienability. Inalienability is another characteristic of sovereignty. Sovereignty is inalienable. By inalienability, we mean that the state cannot part with its sovereignty. In other words, we can say that sovereign does not remain the sovereign or the sovereign state if he or the state transfers his or its sovereignty to any other person or any other state. Sovereignty is the life and soul of the state. It cannot be alienated without destroying the state itself. Next characteristic is unity. Unity is the very spirit of sovereignty. The sovereign state is united just as we are united. Next is the imprescriptibility. Imprescriptibility, we mean that if the sovereign does not exercise his sovereignty for a certain period of time, it does not lead to the destruction of sovereignty. It will last forever. Next, indivisibility, or the sovereignty is not divisible. Indivisibility is the lifeblood of sovereignty. Sovereignty cannot be divided. American statesman Calhoun has declared sovereignty is an entire thing. To divide it is to destroy it. It is the supreme power in a state, and we might just well divide it is to destroy it. It is the supreme power in a state, and we might just well speak of a half square to or half a triangle or as a half of sovereignty. Gettel has also very aptly remarked in this regard, if sovereignty is not absolute, no state exists. If sovereignty is divided, more than one state exists. Next is the absoluteness. Sovereignty is absolute and unlimited. The sovereign is entitled to do whatever he likes. Sovereignty is subject to none. Next is the originality. By originality, we mean that sovereign